Hey guys, it's Joshua. Today we'll be learning how to solve the Megaminx. The Megaminx is a little bit harder version of the 3x3, so I highly recommend that you learn how to solve the 3x3 before moving on to the Megaminx. I've got a 3x3 tutorial, and the link will be in the description. So with that being said, let's get started. Before we start, let's identify the pieces quickly, so you know what I'm saying when I refer to something. So when I say edge, I'm referring to these ones here in the middle, that have two colors like that. When I say corner, I'm referring to these ones here on the outside, that have three colors. And last when I say center, I'm referring to these ones in the middle with one color. Again, when I say edge, I'm referring to these ones in the middle that have two colors. When I say corner, I'm referring to these ones on the outside that have three colors. And when I say center, I'm referring to these ones in the middle with one color. Now we can start solving. The first step is to solve the white star on the Megaminx. You can do this the same way you solved the cross on the 3x3. Again, I highly recommend that you learn the 3x3 before this, because the steps will make a whole lot more sense if you already know it. I'll be doing these steps quickly, so you'll be able to keep up if you know how to solve the 3x3. And then my last piece is over here. That is the white star. The next step, like on the 3x3, is to solve the first layer. Again, you can do it exactly like you do on your 3x3. So just solve the corners into the correct positions. That is the first layer. The next step, like on the 3x3, is to solve the second layer. So you can do it exactly like you do it on your 3x3. So just find the edges and put them into the correct positions. When I say edges, I'm referring to the edges that go between the two correct centers next to a corner, like that. So in this case, this is a white corner, green, red. So the edge that will belong here, obviously, green, red. Then this one, and then the last one. There are the first two layers. The next step is called the second two layers, where we'll just basically be solving this huge chunk and then just leaving the last layer. So we can solve the yellow star, making sure not to mess up the first two layers we've already done. Then we can just solve the first layer of that, like this. Then we can solve the second layer of that. And then the last piece is over here. Then we can move on to the next one, which is just basically any color next to the one you solved. So I solved yellow, I can choose purple or blue. I'll just go with blue and solve the first two layers of that. There's the first layer. Then move on to the second layer. Like that. Next, since I'm going clockwise from yellow, I have to go clockwise from blue. In this case, clockwise would be red. So I can just go ahead and solve the red one. Like that. And then the last two stars will be a little bit tricky. First, solve whichever one of these you want. In this case, purple ended up solved, so I'll just go with that. And then we want to solve the green one as well. But as you can see, whatever move we do that doesn't mess up anything else, we cannot access this. So what we can do is move it to the opposite star, as in we had the purple one, so we can move it to the green one. And then as you can see, we can now access this without messing up anything else. So go ahead and solve the corner like this, and then the edge. And we can bring it all back, green and purple. Then go ahead and solve the first two layers, like this. There we go. Those are the second two layers. The The next step is to solve the gray star on our Megaminx. We can do this the same way we do it on our 3x3. There are 3 cases as well. The first one is where we have 3 gray edges matching the gray center like that, but 2 of them aren't. So what we can do is hold one on the front and one on the back right like this, and then do the same algorithm I taught in my 3x3 tutorial. So here it is. The front clockwise, the 4 move sequence I taught, which is right side up, push with the right side down, push with the left, then you bring the front back. That gives us the gray star. The second case is where we have 2 flipped again, but this time they're next to each other. What we can do is we can hold one on the front and one on the right like this, then do the same algorithm. Front this way, the 4 move sequence, right side up, push with the right side down, push with the left, and bring the front back. And there, as you can see, it gives us where we have 3 flipped and then 2 that aren't matching the gray center. One on the front, one on the back right. Then we can do the same algorithm. Front this way, the 4 move sequence, bring the front back. There's a gray star. So in the last case is where we have 1 edge matching the gray center and then the rest are flipped. We can hold it from wherever and then do the same algorithm. Front this way, the 4 move sequence, and bring the front back. Then as you can see, it gives us 2 that aren't flipped. So we hold one on the front, one on the right, then do the same algorithm. Front this way, up, push with the right, down, push with the left, front back. Then it gives us 2 that aren't flipped again, but in this case, they're opposite from each other. So that's the line. We can hold one on the front, one on the back right, do the same algorithm, and it gives us the gray star. The next step is to put the gray edges into their correct positions. So first align as many as you can using the top layer. There are 3 cases from here. The first one is where you have all of them solved. Then you do nothing, you just basically skip this step. The second case is where you have 2 solved but they're next to each other. What you do is you hold one on the left and one on the front, and then do the same algorithm I taught in my 3x3 tutorial to solve the edges. So here it is. Right side up, this pair over here, you move it away. Right side down, that same pair, move it away again. Right side up, bring that pair back, like this, right side down. You'll have to do it once or twice, but in this case my edges got solved. The second case is where we have 2 solved but they're opposite from each other like this. What you do is you can hold one of them in front of you, then turn the top clockwise. Then look around. If you don't see any solved, just put everything back, and then turn the top counterclockwise. You should have one solved in either of these turns. So you hold that solved one in front of you, and then do that same algorithm. Right side up, move this pair away, right side down, move this pair even farther, right side up, bring the pair back, right side down. Look around and you don't see any more solved. Of course this one is, but we're looking for one solved right next to it like this. So we can do the same algorithm again. Right side up, move that pair away, right side down, move the pair even farther, right side up, bring the pair back, right side down. And there it is. So we've set up the case that we already know. We can hold one on front, one on the left, then do the same algorithm. Look around, not solved, do it again. And there it is, all the edges solved. The last case is where you have one aligned. Hold that one on front, and then do that same algorithm. Right side up, move the pair away, right side down, move the pair even farther, right side up, bring the pair back, right side down. Then look to the right side. If you don't see any edge solved, then do it again. Right side up, move it away, right side down, move it even farther, right side up, bring it all back, right side down. Then we look to the right, and we do see an edge solved. So this is the case we already know. Hold one on the front and on the left, then do the same algorithm. Look around, they're not solved, so we do it again. And there they are, all the edges solved. The next step is to flip the gray corners so that the gray is on top. First rotate so you have the gray on the front, bottom, right, like this. Front, bottom, right. Next, use the gray face and turn it until you have a corner that needs to flip on your right. Then use that same 4-move sequence that I taught in the 3x3 tutorial to flip it. So here it is. Right side up, push with the right side down, push with the left. Right side up, push with the right side down, push with the left. Gray's not on the bottom yet. Right side up, push with the right side down, push with the left. Still not on the bottom. And there it is. Then to get to the next corner, don't rotate the whole Megaminx. Just use the bottom layer, as in just the gray side. You can do the same thing. Do the sequence until the gray is on bottom. Get to the next one. Do the sequence until the gray is on bottom, like this. Then you can rotate so you have the gray on top, and line up all the edges again, like this. There are all the corners flipped. The last step is to put the gray corners into their correct positions. So first make sure you rotate it upside down like we had it before, with the gray on the front, bottom, right, like this. Then what we'll be doing is we'll be alternating 2 sequences. One called the forward sequence, which goes like this, and the other one called the backward sequence, which goes like this, just basically a reverse. We'll be doing that to solve these corners. So first get an unsolved corner on your right like this, then do the forward sequence, like that. Then what you do is look at its 2 colors, not gray but the other 2, blue and beige. So we look for the blue and beige edges, and put it on the bottom like this. Then we can just do the backward sequence to put it in. Then we look for our gray piece over here, and there it is. Check out its other 2 colors, blue and orange. So the blue and orange edges, we can move it under like this, and just put it in using the forward sequence, because we just did the backward sequence, do the forward sequence. If at any time you forget what sequence you did, just look at the top. If it's mostly unsolved, then you just did the forward sequence. But if it's mostly solved, you just did the backward sequence. So anyway, let's check for our gray piece, and there is no gray. So when you have no gray on the top, just move any unsolved corner there, and then you just continue with the sequence. Then there's our gray piece, pink and beige. We can just move pink and beige edges here, put it in. This last piece over here, pink, and green. So the pink and green edges, and then put it in. And then we can just align the rest. And the Megaminx is solved. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, or just pin your question in the comments. Thanks for watching. Blessings. Ciao. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of upcoming videos, and I'll see you all next time.